Hello, in this video I'll show you how to download and use the recording program Kaltura Capture. The first step is to log into Canvas. And once you're logged into Canvas, click on Account and My Media. Sometimes this page is a little slow to load. On the top right, click on Add New and choose Kaltura Capture. Just a little tip, if you're only recording yourself speaking, the webcam recorder is actually an easier solution. Kaltura Capture is the best option if you're recording a screencast, like this video that I'm creating right now. So click on Kaltura Capture and agree to the terms and conditions. And if you scroll down here, download the appropriate version for your operating system. I'm using a Windows computer, so I will click on this one. I'm in Chrome, so the download goes down here in the bottom left corner. I do recommend using Chrome with Canvas as much as possible, since that seems to be the most reliable. So we'll open this up then and click on Next. Now I do recommend changing your recordings folder to the desktop or somewhere you can locate rather than the app data area. Sometimes this can be really hard to find. So what I tend to do is change this to the desktop. Unfortunately, you can't select a location through this window, so instead you'd have to type it in. And the way that it works on this computer that I'm using is that this is my username, so then I just typed desktop afterwards. And then click Next and Install. Usually this is a really quick download. And then we'll finish. Now, once it has downloaded, it's slightly disconcerting because it doesn't do anything. So in order to actually launch the program, go to Account and My Media, and then over to Add New again and choose Kaltura Capture. And you can click to remember if you would like. We'll do Open Kaltura Capture. And this program will download updates on its own, so you can record your webcam. So it'll download updates on its own if it sits idle. To turn off your camera, if you do not want to record that, you can click this and it will turn gray with a line through it. If you do not have a camera on your computer, it may show two screens here if you have two screens on your setup. So this can be slightly confusing for people using it in their offices, because I've seen some people accidentally record two screens or record a camera as well, and there's no way to remove that afterwards. So it's really important to make sure that you're recording the correct things. So if we click on screen, I only have one right here, so it's not showing multiples. In general, it is ideal to select an area rather than record the whole screen. I'm recording the whole screen right now for this demo because I want to be able to show you things down here. So this is what my whole screen looks like, and it includes this kind of distracting stuff at the bottom. But I want to be able to show you what the desktop recorder looks like. Now, if you're recording something that's just showing a browser, you don't need to select this bottom stuff. You may not need to even record what is up here. So you can actually select this to record just the specific area that you want in your video. And this one down, it is ideal to use a widescreen format rather than a square format, so it doesn't have bars on the sides when someone is watching your video afterwards. But that went back down. There we go. So we will confirm that. And over here is where you check your audio. This should be moving. And if it's not moving, it's not picking up audio. So you can click this to choose a different microphone if necessary. And then whenever you're ready, you can hit start recording. So it will give you a countdown. And one unfortunate thing is that it does not minimize this toolbar automatically. So if you do not minimize it yourself, it will show up as part of the recording. So your first step should always be clicking that to minimize it, and then it goes down here. So right now it's showing me what I'm recording by having this red box around the recording area, and then it'll record anything in here. So whatever is within this area, even if it's a different application, it will be recorded as part of the recording. So you can do a few fancy things in here. There's an annotation area. So for instance, if you want to say, go over to the dashboard, you should click a color and then click on the pencil, and you can circle something very poorly with a mouse. But just so you know, that is an option. An arrow is actually an even better option. But then this is another reason to record just part of the screen, because you could put this down out of the way and then have less things cluttering up your area while you're recording. So it'd just be important to plan if you want to use these annotation tools. So I will stop my Kaltura recording. And yes, stop it. And then here's the preview that it gives you afterwards. So before you record your real recording, definitely come in here and do a short test and then play it back and make sure that it did what you wanted it to do. If you accidentally record two inputs, they will show up here on top of each other. And make sure to play it and to identify if your audio worked correctly. Over here you can change the title of your recording. If you don't change it, it will just use the date and time you recorded it. And if you'd like to upload it to Kaltura, you can click Save and Upload. If you just want to save it in your library, you can hit Save and it will not upload to Kaltura. In general, I like to save and upload. And then over here it will give you your progress. And sometimes these files do take a little while. So it says it started uploading. You can check on the progress of it by going to Account and My Media. Please note that URL will appear here later on, but that URL often does not work. So just ignore that and go back over to My Media. And it can be disconcerting at first because you're wondering, where did my video go? So it does take a few minutes to show up. That is common. When your video shows up again, then you can share it wherever you would like following the instructions, which you can find at uweekly/Kaltura. How to upload and share videos with Kaltura. This page will walk you through sharing it somewhere. One last thing I thought I'd let you know, I changed my storage location to the desktop, as you may remember from earlier in the video, and here's what it created for me. So this is the MP4 file. This is the one that you would want to use in case your video should never show up in My Media. Then you can find this file and go over to My Media. Let's check it out. So it did show up, but if yours does not upload for some reason, you can always go to Add New Media Upload and then navigate to that file since it saves it on your desktop, and just do choose a file to upload and upload it, and then it will also be there. Now it does also create a JPEG thumbnail and a JSON file and a slides folder. So this is all stuff that you can delete because the MP4 is all that you will need if you need to re-upload it to Kaltura.